Hello and welcome. My name is John Valentine and thank you for joining me today in this class. And in this course, I'll be talking about 5 Instagram growth strategies for micro influencers. So if you are a micro influencer and want to start growing your following, then this is the course for you. And I'll be breaking it down from the basics. So starting off as a small influencer and giving you some tips and tricks on how to grow and how to fully utilize your potential. So as you can see on screen, these are some of the topics that I will be talking about. First of all, I'm going to be talking about finding your niche and then building your brand. Then I'm going to be talking about using automation tools in order to streamline some of your production. Then I'm going to be talking about your posting consistently and posting schedule. Then I'm going to talk about connecting with other influencers, so networking and connecting with other brands and accounts. And finally, I'm going to be talking about utilizing hashtags correctly, so fully breaking down on how to use hashtags like a pro in order to grow your engagement and following. And at the very end, I'm going to give a summary and a conclusion with some final tips and tricks. So make sure to stick around until the last lesson and all the way through. So again, thank you so much for joining me, and let's not waste any more time and get right into this first class. So let's talk about finding your niche and building your brand. So first of all, when you start off, you want to pick a specific niche, especially if you're focusing on being a micro influencer or being very active in a specific scene. The way you want to do that is to be very specific in the niche that you pick. So identify an area that you can provide a unique insight in, and then you can start to consistently produce quality content in that area. So let's say you really like, fishing, and you're from the East Coast of the US. So you can really start being a niche in your fishing activities in the East Coast. So you can start an Instagram account called East Coast Fishing or stuff like that. And then you can not only be unique in the niche of fishing, but even more unique in a specific, local area, such as the East Coast or a specific state or country or something like that. So, being as specific as possible in a niche will help you find those people who are interested in that specific thing and then build that loyal brand. Because sometimes if you just, create a meme account or you create a soccer highlights account or something like that, of course that can also be very good because you can reach a lot of people, but there's probably already a lot of accounts out there that upload daily soccer highlights and stuff like that. So thinking about a specific niche and something that you can provide expertise and an insight into is what's going to help you stand out and create that loyal fan base. So you can really start to build your brand, and just a good idea to do that is to start with your passion. So what are you passionate about? Maybe you really like food and you're really into sushi, and then you can create an Instagram account or something like that that breaks down the art of sushi, and then you can have all these different types of posts regarding the art of sushi. So having passion and knowledge will make it easier to create. First of all, it'll make it fun because it's something that you like anyways. And second of all, you know exactly what to post and what content to look out for because you have knowledge in that area. If you've never played golf and you want to start an Instagram golf account, it's possible, but it's going to make it hard because you don't know what clips are good. You don't know what products are good to recommend because you're just not that familiar with that area. So definitely find a specific niche that you have a focus and passion in. So let's talk about using automation tools. Using automation tools is definitely a great way to be more efficient. It saves time and it helps you streamline your production and your content posting. So first of all, what exactly are automation tools? Well, there's things like content scheduler like Later.com, Hootsuite, Kickstars. So there's various types of websites and apps that can help you schedule your content. That way you can take a couple hours on a Sunday, create content for the month or for the week, and then you can schedule out your next 10 Instagram posts. And especially if you are a micro influencer, then most likely this is not your main job. So if it's just a side gig, just a side hustle, or just a hobby or whatever, it can help you save a little bit more time and not take up too much of your time on something that's not your main focus. And so using schedulers, like Later.com, Hootsuite, again, these are just recommendations, not advertisements or anything like that, but using these content schedulers are definitely a great way to save time and also think ahead and help you plan all your content. And it just really makes it easier because then you don't have to pull up a post and every time you post you create a caption and you copy and paste your hashtags, you write a little bit about it. That way you can just sit down on a couple hours on one day and plan it for the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, month, or whatever it is that you want to do. And so yeah, using these automation tools is definitely going to help you with your efficiency and also sometimes your quality, because sometimes if people, especially if you do it for, a few months and weeks, people get complacent and they're like, okay, well, now I'm going to have to upload this picture every day. And even though it might still be a little bit fun for you, sometimes it does get tedious. I mean, after all, any work can become work, even if it's your passion. And so creating, taking a little bit more time can help you create that quality content that will also help you stand out. So definitely something to consider when starting a brand and an account on Instagram. So let's talk about posting consistently. Of course, this depends a little bit on the platform that you're using. For example, YouTube, you can post something like once a week. For TikTok, it's recommended to post once a day. If you're using something like Instagram, I would recommend posting at least 1 to 3 times a week. And the key in posting is to be consistent, meaning not necessarily posting 10 times in a day and then not post for 2 weeks, but being consistent. So not having long breaks, not posting that irregularly, not 5 times a day for a week and then nothing for 3 months. That's probably the worst thing you can do. That way, you'd rather use that content that you post, 5 times in a day and then stretch that out over 3 weeks or stretch it out over 2 weeks. And, that's where the scheduler comes in handy that I talked about as well, the content scheduler. And that can help you space out that content as well and can give you a bigger oversight. You can be like, okay, every Monday at 8 p.m. I want to upload a picture. Every, Thursday at 11 p.m. I want to upload a short video. On Wednesday I want to upload a YouTube video. And just creating these content schedulers is definitely going to help you be more consistent, which is going to be key because, unless you get a super viral, video, TikTok video or something like that, it's not going to happen over one night, but being consistent, it's what's going to grab people's attention and give them the content that they want and therefore build those loyal customers, loyal followers, loyal fans, and so on. So just being overall consistent in your posting is definitely what's going to be key. So just like in any other industry, networking is always going to be helpful. So let's talk about connecting with other influencers. Connecting with other influencers definitely is something you're going to want to try to do as you start up with your account. Like I said, networking, whether it's your salesman, you're in business, you're in marketing, whatever it is, even if you're an influencer, networking is key because it can help you, first of all, just create those connections, even if you're not necessarily, working together or anything like that, but just having a connection is always good. Then you can also collaborate on content and help exchange audiences. For example, if you're a traveling Instagram account and you have another traveling Instagram account that has the same amount of followers and you guys meet up in a country and then post a picture together or film a YouTube video together, creating these collaborations is super key in growing and can definitely help you and help the other person as well. So this is a win-win situation because you're overlapping audiences. People who are interested in the account that they're watching might also be interested in yours because you guys are uploading similar content. Of course, if you're an influencer, sometimes it depends on the personality that you're using, but you're more likely to have an audience that is interested in your travel videos if they're already watching their travel videos. So being in similar niches and working together in some form, whatever it is, can definitely help you expand with your audience. And as I said, even if you don't work together, just having that connection is great because maybe you end up having a question, be like, hey, this company hit me up, they want to work with me, I saw that you work with them, how has it been working with them? Just gaining some kind of information and knowledge from other people is always good. And especially if you ask questions like that, they feel needed, then they can give you a favor, you can give them a favor. Having network connections in any kind of industry that you're in is always going to be super helpful. So let's talk about utilizing hashtags. Using hashtags is going to be key. As with all social media platforms, hashtags are still a king, and they probably will be for quite a while. So using very niche and relevant hashtags is going to be very major in promoting your niche account. So being a micro-influencer, as I said, you're probably focused on a very specific thing. Even if you're not, if you're just a lifestyle brand and stuff like that, using hashtags is going to be key in utilizing and trying to get to the next stage of your account. So you really want to focus on having, first of all, some general hashtags. Let's say again you're a traveler and you do hashtag travel, hashtag vacation, and stuff like that. But you also want to focus on niche hashtags, especially because if you're a smaller account and you use those hashtags, the general ones, then sometimes your content gets drowned out. But if you use other hashtags, a little bit more specific and niche, for example, let's say you're in the country of Switzerland, and you can do Switzerland vacation, whatever it is. You could think of a little bit more specific hashtags that might attract other people as well. So definitely try to create your own, and also you can do some research on your competition. So if you look at other travel Instagram accounts or whatever platform, social media platforms, and you see what kind of hashtags they use, then you can try to use those as well. And of course, remember to cycle your hashtags as well. You don't want to use the same set of hashtags for every post that you create for 6 months in a row. You want to try out new ones. You want to try out ones you create, ones that you see, maybe trending hashtags. You definitely want to try and cycle out some of your hashtags. You do want to stay consistent with some of them, so if you do travel, maybe hashtag travel should be in all of them, but you definitely want to try and cycle a lot of them here and now and see what kind of difference that makes in your posts as well. A great idea would be to always use at least 5 to 7 hashtags, and remember that the best hashtags actually have about 8 to 10 characters in them, so you don't want to create a hashtag with 18 words in it, like hashtag on vacation in Switzerland, this was fun. Well, that's just too much. Nobody's gonna really look at that. Of course, sometimes people get pushed out with discovery, but having hashtags with 8 to 10 characters is what works the best. So definitely try to focus on those kind. So to summarize, let's look at some of the topics that we talked about. First of all, like I said, you want to find your niche and start building that brand. So especially if you are starting off as a micro-influencer, you want to be very specific and aware of what kind of content you're creating, whether you're creating personal finance content, or you're creating fishing content, or you're creating, pet videos. But being even more specific than that is even better. There are accounts who simply upload pictures of pins and they make a lot of money. People who upload pictures of salmon dishes, or people who upload pictures of statues around their city. There's people can be very, very specific in their accounts and still do well. So definitely try to pick out something that you are passionate about and something you know something about, and then create content based on that. So second of all, as I said, use automation tools. Just use things like Later.com, Hootsuite, and stuff like that to make your life easier. Again, these are not, I'm not being paid to advertise these are just recommendations. But remember to use them to make your life easier. It will make your life easier, make it more efficient, and can also help you create more quality content. Third of all, think of posting consistently. Like I said, you definitely want to try and space out your content. Obviously not too much. You don't want to take too long breaks, but try to post consistently. Post every 2 days or every 3 days, at least 1 or 3 times a week, especially on Instagram, and also depending on the other platforms that you're using. But posting consistently is going to be key and gaining that growth. And then of course you want to also connect with other influencers, not just for connections and even working together, but just having that networking opportunity and being able to ask other people questions, connecting with them, and maybe having favors done for you, doing favors for other people, whether it is helping with them working with a certain brand, or whether it is helping them take pictures or create content, whatever it is. So definitely want to try to connect with other influencers by DMing them, or leaving comments on their content, and if they see that you're another creator, they might reach out as well. But definitely try to reach out to as many people as possible. And last but not least, of course, if you're on any social media platform, using hashtags is always going to help you gain that growth and help you get discovered. So definitely something to always keep in mind. But yeah, that's basically going to be it. Thank you so much for joining me today. As I have said in my previous video, I have some great big news. I am releasing a newsletter, and so if you want to sign up for that, definitely click the link in my bio. It is called Valentine Weekly, where I'll talking about digital media, digital marketing, social media, tips and tricks, the biggest news, and so on. I'm going to be posting that every week, so make sure to sign up for that if you're interested in that kind of stuff. But that's basically going to be it. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you in the next class. Goodbye.